Mm. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to Shift Now. Um, Shift Now numerology forecast for November 7th to November 9th, 2022. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Arlene Grace. And November 9th, 2022. It's working. Yes. So, welcome to Shift Now. My apologies. As you're landing into the call, let's just come into the breath. We can definitely feel that there was a shift in the energy today. We moved from a material focus into a mind focus. And so I'm going to invite you to come in, perhaps invite you to take a hand and place it over the heart to direct our focus down into the body. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. How are we all doing on this fine Monday? So I'm going to begin this with saying happy birthday to my mom. Happy birthday, Mom. She is a king of clubs. And I love my mom because, well, one, she's my mom. And I love that her life actually exemplifies the king of clubs. And she's told so many stories about her childhood, right? And one of them that really exemplifies the king of clubs is, when she was younger, my family came from a very poor community. They came from a poor home. It was they had a tiny little hut. There were no doors, there were no windows. They didn't have money, and she had about 13 siblings. And in order for her to pay for her education, to pay for her uniform, to get herself to school, she actually would wake up every morning, and she'd wake up super early, and she would walk the streets, and she would walk the farm fields, and she would pick vegetables. And she would then go home and she would cook food, and then she would vend food on the street. And any of the money that she received by vending food on the street, and we're talking about, a child that's doing this, she would then take that money and she would pay for her education. And I love that, Shelley. Yeah. And so she took this, it's this energy today of as you come into your body and you assess your life and you imagine that this life is your kingdom, that this is the life that you created. You look at your home, you look at your experiences, your business, you look at your relationships, and this being the kingdom that you created. Well, are there any holes that you are trying to fill? Like, it's this energy of, am I filling myself up with love or validation? When I look at the people in my life, when I look at those that are within my own kingdom, am I in some way unconsciously using them to fulfill me? And am I willing to come into the wholeness of who I am now? Right? And so there's this beautiful opportunity here to notice, where am I in the value of who I am? Where am I in the value of the wholeness of my life? When I look at my life, are there things that I've actually shifted out? Have I shifted out the dynamics in my relationships? Are there things that I'm wanting to let go of in the home? Are there responsibilities that I'm wanting to give back to people because it belongs to them? Are there places in my life where I've just created space so that I can receive more of what it is that I truly want, so that I can experience that? Because here I am, the king, and I say king because the king of clubs embraces his queen. The king of clubs is there and is united with his divine feminine, united with his intuition. The king of clubs is not this person who will just chop off heads, though he can, but he is a man that is of highest integrity, is of strength, is of knowingness, and is willing to hear the information that is coming through so that he can lead, so that he can lead his life, and so that he can lead those within his life simply by being a model of him. And so one of the themes that's playing out this month is mastering the hell yes. And so today is that energy. We begin today by having this theme that is the willingness to leave space for miracles. And so in conjunction with mastering the hell yes, there's this opportunity here to notice that when opportunities come your way, you're willing to just do it simply because you feel that full body yes. And that if you are remunerating in the mind, more than likely it can be a no. And so just feel that for a moment. Is there anything that you're experiencing in your life that is a hell yes? Heck yeah, I want that. Heck yeah, I want to work with that coach. I want to build that business. I want to open up that retreat. I want to go and I want to travel the world. I want to go do the things. And I'm willing to say yes because it feels full body yes. And not allow the mind to take over, because once the mind starts taking over, it starts to speak from the past. Oh, I can't do it because I don't have the money. Oh, I'm not sure if I have the time. And so you start putting other things in front of you as the reason as to why you can't have what you want. Are you willing to let yourself have it anyway? And so we're moving through this beautiful space where we can come into a better discernment with our intellect, King of Clubs, and the wisdom that's flowing through, the wisdom that is within you. The belief and the idea and the trust that everything, all of the answers will arrive simply by being curious and allowing yourself to be open for the information to arrive, because the information can arrive from someone just saying yes, or someone just saying, hey, I saw this article and so I decided to send it to you, or hearing a song play and you get the lyrics and you're like, oh my God, there's my answer, by seeing an eagle fly over your home, which happens to Shelley all the time. And you're like, oh, there's my answer. And so it's the willingness to allow for the miracles to guide you, to be here for you, to create the space for the magic to prevail. Yeah, I love that. Right? And of course, 10 of hearts, you're seeing hearts everywhere, right? And so it's this beautiful opportunity as the King of Clubs 6. So 6 is this energy of beauty. It's this energy that can be karmic. It doesn't feel like an action. It feels like an assessment. It feels like an awareness. It feels like just being open to, I see my kingdom. And as I see my kingdom, I see that maybe I could do some cleanup over here, and maybe I want to shift this relationship dynamic over here. And maybe I see where I'm not valuing myself over there in my relationship. And so as I assess, I receive this information. And as I receive this information, I feel for the full body yes. What is it that I truly want? Without allowing the intellect to play in the past, so that I can have the fulfillment, so that I can receive the miracle that shows me the way. That the idea that money is holding me back from what I want is false, is invalid, is an illusion. That in fact, as above and so below, as within, so without, as I journey with this high value that is moving through me, as I'm assessing my life, as I'm assessing my world, and I'm noticing the places that I want to change, I'm actually creating flow within my body and within my life. And that's a full body yes, right? So there's this beautiful opportunity to see, as you're assessing your world, that I am one with all, that I am separate in my form, but I'm connected to everything. And if I am connected to everything, and you can see how we're connected to all easily by those that pull cards, by those that are intuitive, that those that are empath. Hi, Christine. Hi, Samantha. That we can actually see that we have this ability to connect into the consciousness of everything, right? You can connect into the consciousness of your pet. You can connect into the consciousness of a pen if you wanted to, because all of it is energy and we are connected to all of it. And so are you willing to allow for the consciousness that is around us to form into the miracles that have been awaiting you, that have been here for you, that have been presented to you, but you might not have seen it because your mind was remunerating on the past. right? And so this is today's energy. And as we move into tomorrow, now we're moving into a full moon eclipse. Now, I'm not an astrologist, but as I was feeling into the full moon eclipse, what I know is that this energy of the full moon, any eclipse, is always going to be this energy that is held for 6 months. And so we began 2 weeks ago with a new moon eclipse. And this new moon eclipse was offering beautiful awarenesses. And so you may have received people coming into your life, exes coming into your life, family reunions, all of these things, people coming in to be your muse. And they were coming in to be your muse to show you the value of what you think you are, how much you love yourself, opportunities to dynamically shift your relationships and to upgrade them, not just in relationship to people, but in relationship to the body, in relationship to the mind, in the relationship to your spirit guides, to your intuition, into the relationship with your business. And so things may have been eclipsed out. Things may have, it feels like there was this crackling burst of, there were events and experiences that happened out in the world and in your own experiences to show you, hey, you're more. Hey, let's go let's just take another step further. Hey, let's allow love in. And allowing love in, some of the relationships actually fell away and fell into entropy. Now, as we're moving into today's or tomorrow's full moon eclipse, it feels like there is this beautiful opportunity for illusions to be even more, well, for the veils to be lifted and for more illusions to rise up so that you can see and so you can decide. And so we move into this energy of the Queen of Clubs 7. And so as these illusions, as things start to come illuminated for you, whether that's in your relationship, in your own thinking, in your own beliefs, in your ideas, that as they start to come into awareness, we're now also bringing in that energy of full body yes. And this opportunity to, I claim I'm gonna have it anyway. I might be hearing the messages, or I might be hearing my mind go into the past. I might be receiving feedback from others. Oh, you can't do that. And this further coming into, hold on, I'm not going to receive, I can receive the feedback from the world outside of me, but I don't need to take it personal. And if I'm not going to take it personal, I'm going to actually come in and I'm going to listen to the Queen of Clubs. I'm going to listen to the information, the intuition that's coming forth through me. Because this Queen of Clubs is all about giving and receiving, the in and the out breath. It is life. It is life with one and all. It is life with spirit. It is inviting you to know that you are this divine being. And if you know it now, to land even deeper into that belief, that knowingness that you are more than this form. You are more than this body, that your energy moves beyond this body, and it actually allows for these, it feels like these centrifuges that it allows for others to be inspired to come into your life, to love you, to give you money, to play with you, to be a client, to show up on your lives, to do all of these things. And will you stand strong in your queen? Will you be the queen and allow for love, life, miracles to land? And so it's this beautiful ethereal energy, right? Because in this Queen of Clubs energy, you're coming into this divine essence of intelligence and intuition. And you're navigating this idea that I have to have all of the books read, or I have to watch all of the programs, or I have to go and chase the things, when really and truly, exactly, Samantha, it's nurturing the dream from within and allowing the wisdom to move out. And I know that, Samantha, you had like an experience last week during Friday, I want to say, where it was like, oh shit, all of the wisdom, I had that knowledge. I had that knowledge, and I showed up here and I received that, just that validation, that feedback, but it was always here that entire time. And so, yes, I love that. That's a miracle, right? And so the miracles can be so slight. It can be the epiphany, it could be the awareness, it could be the veil shifting, which just completely changes a pattern in your mind. And so as we're moving through these days, there's this looping energy, right? And I didn't get to the key for today. So the key for today is this giving and receiving. It's this in and out, and it's this willingness to let things fall away as things come. So it's this law of evolution with the law of entropy. So as things start to fall away, it's noticing at the same time that things are coming into form. Are you willing to focus on what is coming into form, not because of expectation, but because you know it to be true? And as things fall away, which may be relationships or dynamics or part of your business or all of those things, to be okay and focus your strength and your courage on, I'm going to stay this. I'm going to stay pointed in this direction. I'm going to stay focused on what it is that I desire. Things can fall away. And as they fall away, it can be so gentle, it can be so sweet, it can be so easy. And so staying focused over here in this direction of what it is that you're desiring, you allow the mind to come into coherence with this, with what it is that you love, with this hell yes. And you let love lead. Love is just wanting to lead, right? That in fact, every breath and every exhale is your body being loved. And so taking this opportunity to come into this place where you can let life form, let love form, right? And so the looping energy as we come into Tuesday is this opportunity to now reintegrate these parts, reintegrate the parts that were forgotten, reintegrate the parts that you had judged, that you had let go of. So this feeling that's coming in with this full moon is this better opportunity for you to notice where you are comparing, where you are judging, noticing how you feel as you look in the mirror, noticing where you are doing I was feeling the energy. Oh, I love my hair, but I don't like my face. Or I love this outfit, but my shoes don't match. I love this part of my business, but I'm not liking that. There's this opportunity here to come into allowing the entirety of your life to be accepted. Will you accept all of you? Will you accept all of every single aspect of your life so that we can release the duality? Right? So that we can release it's like the vision that I get is you've got this beautiful canvas and this canvas has your castle, but you have all of these separations that are happening here in this space, which is now creating a blockage stuck in the flow of your life, in the flow of your well-being in the body, in the flow of, money landing into your wallet, of the flow of, clients coming into your business. And I simply use these as examples. And so there's this opportunity to reintegrate the parts of you back into the wholeness of you and allow for that to be the willingness to allow for that to happen in your own life, right? Because I'm seeing like all of these pointed fingers that are happening in your life where it's like, oh my God, I don't even know. Like I'm imagining Shelly, and Shelly's like sweeping her beautiful kitchen, but then she forgets the dust bunnies. And so she's pointing at the dust bunnies and she's thinking, what the heck? And it's like, just, can you allow that you didn't see the dust bunnies that were there? Sorry, Shelly, but you know what I mean. Right? And so it's reintegrating so that you can come into the unification. And in the unification, you can see your life as whole because you are whole. And so I can feel that there's energy that's shifting out in the back. And so I'm going to invite all of you to just take a deep breath. And it's interesting because as I'm speaking to this energy, there's this energy that's rising up of support. The idea that you haven't been supported, the idea that people don't come to support you or money doesn't support you. And so I love that because this is the energy that's wanting to fall away. The idea that you haven't been sort of supported by either your guides or the universe or God, the idea that you haven't been supported by money. And so there's this interesting energy of blaming money for not having what you want. And so I'm just going to invite you to be curious about, well, what if money was simply a tool and that we're actually speaking about wealth. We're actually speaking about value, right? Money is the tool. And so do we really want to blame a tool? Right? When we think about value, when we think about wealth and the energy, and I'm going to invite you to feel into the energy of wealth in this moment. As you feel into the energy of wealth and value, and some of you might be coughing as that energy is flowing through, and simply allow the energy to move out. I can feel some energy like squiggling up the spine to be released. I can feel anger and frustration, some rage, wanting to be expressed through the throat. And so I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath and allow it to continue to move. I can feel there's like some energy in the teeth and the gums and the root, which is really the foundation of life. And so we're allowing the foundation of life to shift to allow for the truth to rise up, because teeth is also truth. And so we're coming into a deeper truth about wealth, about value. And as we come and we land into wealth and value, we come to realize that money, that credit, that debit, that bank loans, that crypto, that all of these things, they're actually just tools that are used, that are inspired to be used from this energy of wealth, right? And so we're lifting up shame from the heart. We allow it to rise. Yeah, beautiful. There's the interesting with the neck stiffness. It's like this fear of, it's like these blinders are on. I don't want to look at the past. I don't want to look at the past. And I don't want to look at the past because it hurts there. And so in the willingness to bring wholeness and integrate the wholeness of your life, it's not resisting the past. It's knowing that it was there, but it's realizing, and it's the past. And there's nothing that I need to chase in order to heal it. There's nothing that I have to do in order to shift it. That is the miracle. That the miracle is that it just simply rises up. I'm done with chasing. And so this energy with this eclipse is this willingness. It's this letting go of the barriers that we have to love, to money, to the physical well-being. Hello, Joanne. Yeah, it's the willingness to allow these barriers to rise up, which we're feeling in the body, so that we can come into wholeness, right? This entire month, this theme is, we're not here to tame the beast. We're not here to chase the money. We're not here to, change our partner or change people, because really and truly we can't. But we are here to walk with them. We're here to walk with the beast. In fact, sometimes we are the beast, right? And so there's this opportunity here. And as this opportunity to allow for a deeper knowledge, a deeper wisdom to flow through. And as this deeper wisdom flows through, there's this opportunity for the patterns in the mind to just shift and just change in a moment, because they don't serve you. And so it's an opportunity here to notice the pattern, say, I'm done with that. I choose this. I jump into this pattern. I create a new pattern with my wealth. I create a new pattern with loving myself. I create a new pattern with the value of me, right? I walk in value, right? And so it's a beautiful opportunity to just notice it and to notice the feedback, right? Yesterday was a beautiful day. It was an ace of diamonds. I'm an ace of diamonds. It felt like my birthday. And so I went shopping. And so in the shopping, I had this beautiful feedback, right? I went into Nordstrom's and I just bought the things. I had the most fun buying the things that I wanted. I got clothes, I got shoes, I got makeup, I got the things. It was the best day ever. And then I had the interesting experience of then walking into Walmart And I didn't enjoy that experience. In fact, it was crowded. There was nothing there. It wasn't fun. I took the girls there because they wanted to buy makeup. And so I was like, okay, well, like here we are. They didn't get what they wanted. They didn't get what they needed. We were crowded in. It was loud. It was busy. And there was just so much energy. And it was like, ooh, hear the value of like Nordstrom and being in this space and the willingness to just get all, and then going into Walmart. And there's nothing wrong with Walmart, right? It's just the energy there of lack and the energy of not enoughness and the energy of I need to fight to get my things. And it was such a interesting discrepancy that we had within 2 hours. And yet at the same time, the value that I was feeling was no different. Does that make sense? It's like the value of going into Nordstrom's and buying the things because you feel value, you feel the wealth, you feel the flow of life. And so you're just doing the things and carrying that value there, but just noticing the difference of what's happening here, right? Yeah, I love shopping days with the AD. So fun, right? And so then we move into Wednesday. And so Wednesday is an interesting energy because we're moving now into the Jack of Clubs and 8. Now, the Jack of Clubs, 8, Jack of Clubs is an interesting energy because the Jack of Clubs is this creative energy, right? It's the 3 amplified. And so they have this beautiful, it's not the 3 amplified, my apologies. So Jack of Clubs has this beautiful opportunity to create their experiences. In fact, they're inspired. They are inspired to see, hold on a second, there's more than what I can see. There's more than what I can see. I think that I've been just doing this loop of life over and over and over again, and it's just not working out. And so there's got to be more, right? There's got to be more to life. And so in this curiosity of there's more to life, this energy is willing to try new things. But in the trying new things, he can get caught up again in the hell yes and being, oh yeah, but energy. And the yeah, but energy are these stories that he tells himself where he can't have it, where he can't do the things, where he's going to have to sacrifice his life, where he's not allowed to have love and money at the same time, where he thinks that he can't have, the family that he desires of all of the things because he was told that he can't, or he's just really, really good at telling himself all of these stories until he actually believes it. And so the Jack of Clubs is very creative in telling the story, but believing it as well. And so as I'm feeling into this energy, it's noticing yourself where you are embellishing, where you are embellishing for you, right? I get this. It's like this. I've done this in the past where I've had these pink glasses and I've romanticized my partners in the past so much that when I received so little, I was like, wow, that's so amazing. Like, he's so amazing. He's so good. And then in the letting go and the entropy of the relationship, when the glasses came off, it was like, okay, do you now see the truth? Do you now see where you were creating these stories based on whatever, Disney, being saved, these other ideas? Where are you now willing to shift that pattern and just value yourself? Just value you. And in this just value you, it doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter whether or not they love you too. It doesn't matter what the feedback is because you are devoted to you, right? It's this willingness to just be so devoted to the love of you and so devoted to the value that you have within, that you are walking with it. And that we may not see the shifts and the feedback right away with those that we love, but we can trust that as we are shifting our own perception, our own lens of who we are, that we shift the lens of how we see others. And so it changes our dynamics in relationship. It changes how we see others. It allows for the wholeness of a relationship, the wholeness within a relationship to shine forth. And so there's this energy of reuniting with parts of ourselves back into the whole with the mind. And so it's releasing the judgment. So I don't know if you see that, like we're reintegrating from the emotions, then now the next day on Wednesday, we're reintegrating from the mind. And so there's this loop, there's this cycle that's happening within your body and a cycle that's happening within your own life. Right. And so as we're coming into this reintegration, we're releasing the judgments so that we can come into the discovery of unfiltered truth. And so, what does unfiltered truth mean for you? All last month, we were really working on understanding what truth was, understanding and discerning truth and secrecy, per se, right? And some of the curiosities that I've been asking myself and others is, what is it that I am hiding from others? Like, what is my deepest vulnerability? What is my deepest, darkest secret? And I realized that my muse was my dad, and my muse, being a 5 of diamonds, was my dad. And my deepest, darkest secret was that I had not shared with him that I had been sexually abused. He's the only person that doesn't know in my entire life. Now, he could probably watch this video and he'll discover it, and that's okay. But that is the one thing that I hid. And so as I was thinking about this a couple nights ago, I was really feeling into it, and I was thinking, well, how is it that I can let everyone else know, but I can't let my dad? And it was interesting because I was wanting my mom to tell him, right? I was giving my authority away. Mom, go tell him. And she wasn't, and it's not her job. And in that discovery of, oh, my deepest, darkest secret from my dad is this, I realized that there was such a deep shame and a deep fear of being shamed and judged by my dad because I'm daddy's little girl, that I had actually disconnected myself from him, which all I want is connection, to protect myself from feeling that shame. And so in that awareness of what's my deepest, darkest secret, now it's for me to keep that private because that's my business. Absolutely. Just like any health, right? Are you, whatever, we've gone through this experience for the last 2 years. But what was private to me became a secret because there was such an emotional tie to it that keeping it secret was not helping me come into the wholeness of who I was, because I was now running away from shame. And so the willingness to be curious and ask yourself this question, what is it that I'm hiding from the world? And am I willing to see that? Because in seeing that, I saw myself. And in seeing myself and shifting that within me, with releasing the shame and coming into deeper connection with me, it actually shifted my relationship with my dad. And it's noticeable. And in that shifting with my dad, now I'm not inspired. I'm waiting to be inspired to share that with my dad. And it very well be true that I don't have to. And so realizing that that's the miracle. The miracle is that we can be the expression of ourselves. The expression of ourselves is not necessarily through words, but it's through the own shifting of energy within ourselves, within our own emotions, within our own minds, which now move out into our physical world, which then go out into our physical relationships, right? Or relationships with others. And so there's this beautiful opportunity here for you to come into that energy of, if you have secrets that are the beast in your life, we don't have to go tame it. We just simply have to live with it. And will you allow that to rise up so that you can see? Because he was my muse for me to see that, right? But now he no longer is, because I see myself. And so there's this beautiful opportunity here on Wednesday to feel, to sense, to know to land deeper into the wholeness of your being, right? And so I love that. It's interesting because the energy of the full moon eclipse, it feels like it feels gentle, but then there's this energy that also feels sharp. And so right now it feels gentle, and it feels like there's going to be this sharpness that's almost like this, like it feels like a guillotine coming down, not to chop off someone's head, but it's almost like this beautiful opportunity to slice so you can see what's beyond it. And so are you willing to see what's beyond it? Are you willing to come into are you willing to see the unfiltered truth and express it? And so I am curious. I'm curious about all of you. One, how was your weekend? My weekend was great. What is rising up for you? Are you noticing the eclipse energy? And if so, are you noticing what the theme is for you? Yeah, I had a fun love potential show up in the last few weeks, and it felt so fun and aligned. And yesterday it left abruptly. I'm sad. And I also feel there's something shifting, but I'd love a card for it a bit more clear. Yeah, for clarity. There's energy moving up. There's a little bit of resistance of holding on, but it's moving. Five of Spades. So the Five of Spades is asking you, okay, Heidi, we're going to invite you, and I'm using these words for Heidi because she understands. Can you come into the body and can you feel the cause? What was the cause of this relationship? What is the cause that inspired this to come into your life, this experience? And as you're feeling into the cause of this experience, can you see that came into fruition for you, that you actually experienced it? I can feel like your mind is cracking, like it's popping. And so you come into witnessing that you experience this cause. Are you willing to just surrender into? Are you willing to surrender it? Are you willing to surrender him? Because there's something here for you to see that you don't yet see. And I feel like there's this energy of attachment, which of course is what you might be feeling right now, the sad. And so the sad is being held on to the heart. It doesn't want to let go. And are you willing to let that rise up and go? And allow these waves of grief. And I can see as they're going, there's this, what's leaving are these pictures in your mind. You had these visions of like the family, like being together as a family and going out to the water and doing all these things. And so we're just going to let them rise up and lift out. Beautiful. Yeah. As you do this, I'm going to invite you to feel into, there's a shift that happened in the body just now. So feel into the cause, like what is the cause of what I want to experience in relationship, and allow that to land in. And as you start to feel into that energy, it's going to continue to allow this, there's a distortion that's rising up. a distortion in how you see men, a distortion in how you see relationship, a distortion in there's a distortion in receiving from life itself that's wanting to come up and go. And so as this distortion rises up and goes, as you continue to feel into the frequency of what it is that you want to experience in relationship, a romantic partnership, you will start to receive the clarity so that you can better create a focus for you. Like there's a focus that's wanting to come in as you come into this clarity. So clarity will drop in that will help you. The clarity that you will receive is the release of this distortion so that you can see more clearly. And with that, it's going to better inform you of what it is that you're wanting to experience in relationship. Yeah, I hope that serves for sure. Samantha, it feels like a believing in self. Cheerleader of sorts seems to be the theme for me in this eclipse. Yes, for sure. I can see that. I'd love a card to help anchor in this energy. Yeah. Two of Clubs. I love it. So the Two of Clubs is always about truth and our willingness to see the truth. And so the Two of Clubs is inviting you to see, will you see the truth of who you are as you celebrate? And as you celebrate, will you focus on your strengths? It almost feels like you're walking. I see the vision of like you're walking and then you turn around and you pick up, like you're picking up these books. And so picking up these books, but you're picking up these books of the past, the stories of the past. And you're like, oh, I'm just going to take this with me. And there's this idea, I'm taking this with me because there's some wisdom here. Like I'm taking this numerology book with me because I might need that. And in this celebration of you and coming into this devotion to your strengths, you'll realize that you can let go of like the knowledge, you can let go of the past, that it's already part of you. And so continuing to celebrate you by seeing the truth of who you are, to see that you are this extraordinary divine being that offers wisdom and moves this service out into the world to allow for people to shine their light. That's what I kind of feel. That in that celebration, you actually focus more and more on your strengths, which will allow for you to see some, I feel like pathways will erupt from there, or pathways will open up for you there. And so the result is the King of Hearts, which is beautiful. Like you're starting to, you come into, oh, I've got this. Oh, I see me. Oh, I see the service. I see what I do in the world. I see that as I am the light, that others are running away, scurrying away. I see that others are actually attracted. And all of that's just feedback because of the love that I'm moving through me. And so in this, you land into yourself in service, and you're shifting out the energy. I'm feeling it already starting to shift. The energy of servitude starts to shift out in that as well. So I love that. Continue to feel into you, continue to walk and celebrate you, seeing the truth of you, allowing that to be mirrored back to you, but just taking that as the feedback so that you can land into more of you, the wholeness of you, while allowing for further distortions to rise up and go during the eclipse. Beautiful. Love that. It's interesting. The energy feels so serious. It's like, come on, guys, let's do the things. For me, the energy seems to be around connections and communication with self, source, and those around me, even in my weekly spread. I love that. Yeah. It always begins with you. It really does feel like you're being invited to deepen your you're being invited to better feel, see, sense, know the energy of as above, so below, as within, so without. Like it feels like there's this beautiful opportunity or this energy to land deeper into, oh, I am the creator of my experiences, and I create in every moment, and creation in every moment begins with a choice. And so I decide to see myself. I decide to, I am connected. I deepen my connection. I hear you, spirit. I hear you, intuition. And as I connect deeper into there, I connect deeper into my body. And as I connect deeper into my body, I get to experience that mirrored with others in community, with my partner, with those around me. Yeah. Suzanne, I spent the weekend alone and not feeling low energy. Yay, I love that. Reflection of the past is fine. Like there's nothing wrong with reflecting the past, because in the reflection and in the curiosity, you allow for beautiful awarenesses to rise up. So I think that's brilliant. Oh, I love that. It was a beautiful shift for you, Heidi. Beautiful. Mesa, my weekend was really good overall. I'm definitely choosing my energy to affect my relationships for harmony. Doing stalls this morning, I started to really feel out my bigger dream. Hey, had for a long time coming in fruition. The commitment I made to myself on October 14th will allow the dream to come to fruition, feeling all the feels no matter what they are, to process any fear and allow all the nervous excitement. I love that. I would love a card for more clarity and the next steps, please and thank you. Okay. Two of Clubs. So the Two of Clubs is saying you're already doing it. And so did you notice that when you allow the mind to have a function, when you allow the mind to have a job, i.e. the mind is busy cleaning out the stalls and doing the things, or it's, cleaning up the Airbnb. And so you get caught up in the things, you get caught up in the doing of things, but not heavy duty work, that you actually just receive the epiphanies. They just arise. You get the ideas. And so when the mind is out of the way, you hear your intuition. And so it's keep doing that, because you're receiving the hows. And so as you feel into the frequency of what it is that you're creating in this experience, the barriers start to show up as, I think I'm supposed to know what my next how is. I think I'm supposed to have it written down. I think I'm supposed to see it. I think I'm supposed to do the things. But really, the how comes from within. The how is an inspired action. And so the clarity is in doing the things. It's in allowing the mind to be caught up in doing the things so that you can allow the intuition to just drop in. Yeah. And so the result is this beautiful, one, it's the Millionaire's card, but it's also deepening your own trust and the value that you have for these insights that are being received. And so I love that. It's like, allow the mind to get out of the way so that you can receive the insight. As you receive the insight, you take action so that you build the trust on the insight that you're receiving. And so you build a deeper connection and trust with that, which is now experienced in your physical world. And so keep going. You're doing the things. I love that. Hello again, Jenny. Yeah. Let's see, the neck connection, Shelley. The neck connection brought instant tears, which I get completely, but would love guidance on what more wants to be invited in this morning. Turning from the past, right? Yeah, I can feel it. As I'm feeling into the turning into the past, there's almost, there's this fear of, but if I go and I turn to the past, what if I do it again? What if I do it again? I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do the same thing. I don't want to do the same pattern. And so it's like a decision point to just, am I willing to face forward? Yeah. And so we're going to allow that to rise. And so I love that it's the Queen of Spades that I pulled for you. And so the Queen of Spades is like, you are so divinely guided. You're so divinely guided in this life. Like, you have so much wisdom that is flowing through you, that's that you're sharing out into the world, that you are experiencing in your communities, in all of the fun little ways that you do it. But it's really landing into the idea that you can't push your wisdom back there. You can't push it. The wisdom actually arises up from back there. And so the willingness to continue to face forward and walk your path will allow for those that need to receive their wisdom to receive their wisdom. It's not your job. And so there's this further letting go of the material. Because it's interesting, as I'm feeling into you and you're looking at your past, you're looking at it through this material lens. But your invitation is to pull up into the observer. If you were to pull up into the observer and observe your past, you actually allow for the wisdom to come up from there. Because I feel like you're looking backwards because you think you missed something. And so just come back into now. You can be curious about the past, and the wisdom will just come. Yeah. And then you go back and you start to experience this lens through your material experiences. You start to receive the feedback of the wisdom coming forth. And so I love that energy for you. It feels very divine. Yeah. Love that. I had a huge release as a secret that I've been carrying. I was able to share with Joy. Oh, yay. I love that. I would love a card about this huge opening. You can feel it. It's interesting. As I was feeling into you, Christine, I lost focus for a moment, and I was diverted over here, and I'm like, ooh, are you focused? What are you focused on? Are you focused on something that's over here? Are you focused on what was released, or are you willing to focus on what is possible? Are you willing to focus on your own strengths? Are you willing to focus on here now instead of being distracted by what's around you? I feel like there's some, I can hear like buzz. I can hear some voices. I can hear some things. There's like some in your peripheral. You've got experiences that are happening, and you're almost wanting to go there and look back there. And so there's an invitation to take it higher by building your own strength and devotion and focus to what it is that you are desiring. One of the patterns that you're shifting is letting go of the past and letting it lie, letting it be. And so the opportunity here is to nurture yourself in such a way that you can actually allow for this huge opening to move through. So I'm feeling this opening move through from the root up. And so it feels like this huge opening is wanting to move up and out through the body, out into the divine. And it comes back in a torus field so that it can actually be experienced in your physical life. And so in this whole huge opening, you get to direct your focus. What is it that you're wanting to experience? I know that in the past, you've been wanting to experience, I don't even know the word. It was like massive wealth, right? And there may have been getting caught up in the experience of life as you were traveling and all of those things. And so it's okay. You wanted all of this beautiful, extraordinary wealth. Do you still actually want that? Or are you willing to take a new journey? Is there something more that you're wanting to focus on? And so I can feel it. I know what it is. Well, I don't know what it is, but I can feel there's this inspiration that's coming up through you. And so it's like, will you sit with yourself? Will you be with yourself? And will you allow for this inspiration to arise? And will you decide to go claim it? Will you decide to walk that journey with it? Because I feel like it's more than wealth. I feel like it's a lot more than wealth. And so, yeah. Oh, I love that you're coughing it out, Samantha. Jenny, I'd love a card to move me through this week, please. Yeah. The energy is shifting, so the cards are sticky. I'm going to invite you to take a breath in, Jenny. Yeah. It's interesting. As I'm feeling into you, there was this rigidness that settled in and my spine got very tight. And there was this energy back behind me. It's still there. It's right behind my heart, but it's right in, it's like anchored into my spine. And I'm not a doctor, and I'm not saying that there's any illness or anything. It's just energy that I'm feeling that's shifting, and it's beginning to shift now. But there's something that you are not willing to receive. There's something that is holding you back from receiving. And so there's this filtered lens of how you're receiving from life. And it's the Two of Clubs. The Two of Clubs is, I feel like you've been so focused on wanting to experience something in your life, and that it's actually been like it's been coming back to you, but you've been rigid in your thinking of the way you're going to experience. And so there's this invitation here to let go of control. And when I say let go of control of how you think you're meant to experience things. And so I'm going to invite you back to, the beginning of this call where, what is that hell yes for you? What is it that you truly want to experience? Are you willing to stay in that feeling of that hell yes, to let yourself have it and let go of the rigidity of how you think you have to give back, or how you think you're supposed to receive it, how you think it's going to happen? Because there's the Two of Clubs is like, there's these miracles that are here for you. Like, just will you see the miracles? Will you receive the miracles? Will you see that life is supporting you? Will you see that others are nurturing you and loving you? Will you allow that to happen? Because it feels like there's this big unveiling, this big veil that's being lifted for you if you're willing to let that happen. And so, yeah, there's like the result is the fulfillment, like the fulfillment of what it is that you're wanting to experience. I feel like it's deeper connection, deeper love. I feel like it's like it's something in community, or like in your own physical expression, and you being out there in the world. And so it's here and available. Just allow yourself to breathe into the body, to be present here now, and be curious. And allow yourself to just receive from life, and stay with the hell yes. Stay with the hell yes. Love it. I'm going to try something. Does that work? It works. Never done that, guys. I would love a card for support through the big energies this week. Feeling imminent shifts in many areas. Had a beautiful weekend with family. I feel like your birthday's coming. And so you're in Neptune energy. So you're in the dream energy, which can feel big. It can feel big when you're feeling that energy, especially in conjunction with the eclipse that's happening. And so it feels like you're moving through this space before your birthday to like, are you willing to go out with a bang? Are you willing to go out with a bang and to release any, again, the energy of like releasing the barriers to love, to money, to wealth, to your receiving your own value, to the well-being in your body? Are you willing to allow this integration to take place? Because that feels like that's what's happening in this big energy for you. And so there's this, at the same time, it's like, okay, so as I'm feeling into the 10 of diamonds, they know that they are nurtured by life. They know that they are the creator of life. They know that life isn't real. And like within themselves, they know that life isn't real. They know that they can attain whatever that they desire, whether it's success in their business or receiving the things, that it is all possible for them. And so they allow themselves to receive it. Now, not everyone, but I observe my daughter. She's a 10 of diamonds. She gets everything, and she doesn't work hard for things. She just gets it. And I don't know if it's because I'm the one that's inspired to give her the things and to have the things for her, but she's really good. And so it's this willingness to receive from life. As you're receiving from life, you're receiving from whole life, like whole being life. You're receiving the intuitive guidance that will allow for you to pivot. You're receiving the material aspects of life, whether that's money or things or gifts. I don't know, I feel like there's something that might be going on with your home as well. And so in the receiving, it's also the receiving of the reflection of your value, not because you need it, but simply because you've made so many decisions this past year and how you relate to yourself and how you see yourself in value, that it's simply just coming back into form to allow for you to have some further information so that you can go out with a big bang. And so I love that energy for you, because now we're coming into, again, the millionaire's card, and $1 million might not be a lot for a lot of people, but this 7 of diamonds represents massive wealth. It can represent massive wealth for some. And this really, really tells me that you're landing into a deeper sense of your value, of the wealth that flows through you. And so the willingness to do all of this will help you to further, to better see you, to better see you, to see yourself through this lens of, oh my God, like I'm just this magnificent, extraordinary being. Like I'm this magic. I am magic, right? Oh, I feel it. It feels so good. Awesome. I will take one more. Oh, I love that. Your 50th. That's amazing. Okay, we'll take one last. I've been feeling heavy energy in my left lung area. It feels like it wants to leave. What can I do to acknowledge this energy and to assist its movement out? Okay, so we're just going to feel into that energy in the left side of your lung. And so the beautiful thing that happens when you come into presence, come into the body, and you just feel into that energy in the lung. You just feel into, I see that you're there. And I love that you're there. And we're just going to invite it to open. And for me, I see it as this blooming, like this blooming of this beautiful, I feel like it's a peony. I don't know how to pronounce that flower, but there's like all of these beautiful layers that are opening up. And you can feel it radiating out the back. It's moving out the back as well. And so we're just going to invite this energy. You might be noticing it's moving all through the body. And so it feels like it's anchored in. And so we're just going to allow it to move through the entire body and to release in whatever way, shape, form that's easiest. We invite this energy to know that it's loving for this energy to release and to be transmuted into something else. And so I can feel that it's moving out through the back, through the right side of your scapula. It's just pulling out. I can feel it moving into the heart. So we invite it to just continue to move. You might be coughing. You can feel it's attached to energy in the abdomen. And so we just allow that to open up I'm just going to say turn on the light. And so we're just turning on the light in that space, in the abdomen. And so as things are coming to light, we allow the energy to release. I feel like you're going to receive some epiphanies in the next couple of days, which is beautiful. So we allow this energy to release in whatever way, shape, or form. And it feels like it's going down the legs to the feet. And there's also some energy that's moving up through the throat, in and around the jawline and the sinuses. And out the top of the head. Yeah. And so the transmutation easily takes place when we just come into the energy of grace. Grace allows for this transmutation, which is just exactly what we did. I simply followed it and allowed for the direction to move. There's a little bit more in the back that you can sit with and allow for that to move. And yeah, it can be that simple. It can be that simple to allow for energy to shift. I feel like for you, it's happening in these waves. You've been going through a lot of shifts and awarenesses over the last week. And so it's leaving in waves. And so if you allow yourself to just come into that energy of grace and to feel into the essence of you and feel into, I feel like, value or whatever other frequency, it will start to shift out. But it just allow the waves. It feels like waves of grief because you're releasing enmeshment. Enmeshment, connection with others are shifting, and the dynamics in your relationships are already shifting. And so as those dynamics are shifting, you're feeling the grief or these waves of energy move through your body because it's actually releasing at a cellular level. And so simply allowing, I feel like drinking water, tuning into the body and nurturing the body as this continues to flow, to allow in the ease of it just releasing and going. So I hope that serves. I hope that helps. Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Monday. Happy full moon. I was going to say good luck, full moon, but happy full moon. I'll be curious to see what you experienced on Thursday. And thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you in the spaces. And if you're curious about your own numbers, I'm going to invite you to check out the link before or below, and we'll connect deeper. All right. Sending you all so much love. I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.